completes their findings and they present the list to us and we vote on it, does it require just a majority vote or a unanimous vote?
Majority vote.
Majority vote. So 3 people can vote against it and it's still going to pass.
It will go to the election commission for a referendum.
Right. But to get it on a referendum, all it takes is 4 votes.
Yes.
Okay. So now, I think the people, the public is being misled because when we talk about $154 million that went into the 2 penny taxes and only 13 million went into roads. Well, the first penny tax, the 7-year tax, no money went into roads. That means that I didn't get any money for roads in District 7. You didn't get any money for roads in District 5. You didn't get any money for roads. You didn't get it. Nobody on council got money for roads. So to try to say that 154 million was there and only 13 went in roads, I think that's misleading. Because the public needs to know that nobody got roads, money for roads in the second penny. But I'm still questioning the amount of roads that are in District 1 that needs paving. Is that a realistic amount of roads, or are there roads in there that belong to a park or whatever? Are we including that in the number of roads that we say need to be done? Because when you take those out, there's not as many roads that need to be done in District 1 as they're presented as to be. Okay? But again, I'm willing to step back and tell my citizens that we're going to just do so many roads. And in this penny tax, District 7, out of all the districts, 3 districts, 1, 5, and 7, District 7 is getting the least amount of money. So when the voters in District 1 consider that, I hope you consider the fact that there are other people in the county that are willing to step back and give you more roads and priority, but at the same time, you need to respect their needs also. And that's what I'm asking you to do. The penny tax is a very good thing for this county because it's given us the opportunity to do things that we don't have normally money to do. And it's great. When we first, Councilman Washington wasn't on council, but when we first went out for a penny tax for 3 years, on our list, number 2 project was a water park. Now, Orangeburg had a water park, Richland County had a water park, but when we put one on for Sumter, it got shot down. All the masses was out there. Don't approve it, don't. So the first penny tax was killed. So we came back. But like I said in the item, and it was a letter in the item from the editorial, from Graham Osteen, we are not a county of quitters. So we came back strong. Instead of a 3-year, we came back with a 7-year. And we fought for it. But that was the one that didn't have roads in it, but it had a lot of other projects in it. And the people in my district, District 7, asked me, Councilman Bain, why should we vote for this? And I said, because what we're going to do in your district, and I don't know why it never happened, we were the only district that didn't have a community center. So Vivian and I got together and we recommended, because we share some of the same people, and we put in 2 community centers. the Eastern Community Center and the Salterstown Community Center. And the people came out to vote for it. Now, this tax just passed by 51%. 51%. And I talked to Mr. Jefferson, the voter registration election commissioner. If the people in District 7 did not come out and vote the way they did, it would have passed. So they supported what we asked them to do. Okay? Now, because we did that one, we were able to go back to the citizens for the second penny and say, this is what we did. These are the projects that we worked on. And the people came out, and I think the second one was 62%, wasn't it? People came out and voted for the second penny. But in that second penny tax, we put 13 million in roads. Okay, so that was the only time in the penny tax that roads was included in it. So all this about all this money that, no, it wasn't in it. Nobody got anything for roads. So I just want you to be clear there. Now, I support my colleague, and I realize that he have a road need, and I support Councilman Gainey because she have a road need too. So the majority of the money is going to them too. And I'm the one getting the less money in my district, but you know what? It's all right. Because I see what the need is at, and I'm gonna go along with it. But I want you to know that we're working with you. So it's not that we don't care about it, we're working with you. But to try to take $26 million, $26 million, and say we're gonna put that in roads, it's not gonna pay. Because the citizens, people in the citizens, live in the city of Sumter, also vote for that penny tax. They also vote for it. And we have to give them something for them to vote. Because if they don't get anything, then we could lose the penny tax. So we got to realize that we're asking the whole county, all the citizens in the county, to vote for this penny tax. And the citizens in the city of Sumter have projects that they like to get done. And if we tell them that we're gonna put up all this money in the rural area and not give them money for their project, then they might not vote for it. So let's be realistic. Again, I'm in this. Councilman Washington, I support you. And I support the citizens of District 1. And that's why I agree with you getting most of the money on this tax for roads.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized. I appreciate the councilman from 378 and his comments. And I do respect him as well. I am not going to disrespect him by saying that he misrepresented anything, like he said I misrepresented anything. And I also want to say, no council member should have to step back. And if you're stepping back from providing basic services to your citizens, you are doing them a discredit.
Yes.
And let me just say, you said there were no roads in the first penny tax. But let's talk about what there was. There was $6 million in there for Patriot Park. Ball fields, facilities, new ball fields, facilities at Palmetto and Dillon Park. You gonna tell me those are more important than roads? But there was only 2.5 million for county community centers in the rural areas where I live, where my people live, where Council Lady McGaney lives. 2.5 million. there was 1.5 million for building new sidewalks, not roads, sidewalks. Let's talk about where they were. Wilder School, Bates School, Lamara School, Wise Drive, Wilson Hall, Patriot Parkway, Center Road, Wilson Hall, Croswell area, North Pike. First penny. There was also $2.7 million for Sumter Central Business District removal of abandoned buildings. Now, that's important, but is it more important than roads? Maybe not in your district, but in my district it is. And then there was $2.6 million to acquire property to redevelop structures in all areas of the city, recognized as a city project, such as Liberty Street, Main Street, Broad Street, and so on. Be used for tax-producing projects. And would you believe, Councilman from Highway 378, that those projects I just laid out to you, $13 million. And that's the $13 million we could have gotten in the first penny. I went a step further too and looked at the second penny. Since you asked, since you raised it. And in the second penny, we had another $6 million appropriation for recreation, renovations, additions, and cultural center, recreation parking, construction of a new gym, renovations to the recreation department facility, including new paved parking lot to service Patriot Hall. $2.3 million, again, for community sidewalks. The project expands the community sidewalk network, providing safe walking connections to neighborhoods, North Columbia Drive, Crestwood Drive, North Glenwood Drive, Highland Avenue, North Lafayette Drive, Lewin Road, Lyman Road, West Oakland Avenue. $2.7 million. $600,000 for Wilson Hall Road and Wise Drive. $900,000 for Wilson Hall Road and Carter Road. $2.7 million for Dillon Park renovations. $2.7 million. And then $4 million for Shot Culture Greenway. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. Now the total on that is $13 million too, on both pieces. So when you say I'm misrepresenting what I would submit to you, these are two official county documents. And I assure you, if I am wrong, then the folks who are doing our business is wrong. These are facts. And as far back as I can research, we've been talking about roads being the #1 priority, but we have not treated roads like the #1 priority. And anybody who says that we have, they are not telling the truth.
Mr. Chairman, I have a comment. Because this is going way out. The council in Washington put in their sidewalks. I live in District 7. It's one of the top elementary schools called Lamar Elementary School. And near that school was a trailer park developed. Now, when you live in a certain distance to a school, the school bus don't pick you up. You gotta walk to it. Okay? I had young kids 5, 6, and 7 years old who were being walked down the street where there was no sidewalk. They were walking in the street and had to look out for traffic. There was no sidewalks. There was a ditch. And they had to come out, cover that ditch, and put in sidewalks so these kids could go to school safe. Now, is that a basic service? Yeah, saving their lives is a basic service. And that's what we did. So when you start talking about sidewalks around our public schools, you need to look at why they were there and put there to protect our kids. Okay? So, another thing. We go out and ask for development. We ask for people to come here and bring their business and industry here. But in order to attract, we need to be attractive. And to have nothing for these people to relocate here, for their children to do, is not going to make us attractive. So we need to invest money in recreation. Patriot Park is not just for the citizens who live in the city, it's for everyone. Everyone, the whole county, use Patriot Park. That's an attraction that we have to have in order to get business and industry. You are not going to get it because when they come here, Continental Towers, when they came here, they met with citizens in this county and they met with the leaders. I was the chairman of the county council when Continental Towers came here and I met with them. And one of the concerns they had was what type of recreation do you have for your citizens? So recreation helps you to get business and industry. So when we put money into recreation, that's what we're doing. We like to say Sumter is a good place to live, learn, work, and play. Live, learn, work, and play. Where are you going to play at if we don't put money in recreation for our kids? So that's why we're there. So again, I want to reiterate, I support Mr. Washington. That's why I agree with his district getting the most money. But at the same time, we're going to put money in recreation because we need to attract business and industry. We're going to put sidewalks around our schools because we want our school kids not to be walking in the street to get to school. I'm through. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to just say one quick thing to Mr. Baker. That first penny, we didn't put anything in for roads. But you were on council, you were the chairman, but what that first penny did is it brought Continental in here.
Sure did.
Because they said we would not have had Continental come in here if we hadn't had that. And there was a lot of things that had to happen before Continental could get in here. And that was, I mean, now anybody you talk to has got somebody they know that works at Continental. I mean, that's 3,000 jobs that they expect to have. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that was important to get that done.
I'm glad you brought that out because Continental Towers was a $500 million investment. And it brought in 1,600 jobs that paid above the minimum wage of what we were paying our Sumter citizens. We got that deal in because we invested money in infrastructure that made us attractive to Continental Towers, and we were in the final of the three areas that was going to get Continental Towers: Louisiana, North Carolina, and Sumter. And we almost lost that because we couldn't get the land, but luckily, and again, I was able to go out and get the land when everybody else couldn't get it. I went out and got the land from the people who owned the land. But if we were given 48 hours to get the land, if not, they were going to go someplace else. And the people who own the land stopped all the communication with our team. And I was called to go out because it was in my district to go out and talk to the people who own the land. And through a land swap, I was able to get them to agree to sell that land to us so that the deal could continue. We give them 48 hours, we got it done in 30 hours. So you need to know that. Continental was a good investment for us, but when I met with Continental, they asked what type of recreation, what type of education, what type of school district you had, what type of law enforcement, they asked those things. So don't underestimate when a business comes to you that they're not looking at what you got for my employees, that I'm sending top people here to run this company. What are in it for them?
I never did finish up my other comment. But the other thing is, we talked about the $6 million we spent to pay for the park. I would dare to say that we probably triple that number with the money that we get on hospitality and accommodation tax. We're bringing all these people into this town, and when we use the penny, they say a third of the penny comes from out of state or out of town. So a third of the people. So the more we can bring in here to fill up these hotels, and you look at these hotels, they are rather full during the weekends when we have tournaments here. Those are people coming from out of town, and they're buying their suppers here, and they're staying in the hotels, and they're paying for that tax. So I think we brought it, that money comes back to us.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, and I understand we're taking some time here, but everybody can just relax, because this is an important issue to all citizens of Sumter County. So everybody can just relax, because we need to talk about this for a second. My question is, does the county get any of the hospitality money?
Yes, from businesses in the county.
Explain that.
Well, you got city limits, and anything outside the city limits is county. So any business outside the city limits, we get the hospitality. I will say that the city gets the majority of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anybody else got any comments?
Yes, and I promise to be brief. There's a saying that silence is concurrence, and I can't say that I concur with District 1 getting all the money for the roads. I can't concur with that. I just think that now it's our time to be able to pour more into the roads. And of course, that commission that we have appointed, they have their work set out for them, and I'm sure that they're going to be strategic, and I hope that they will be equitable, and that they will be considerate of the needs, the whole needs of the county. And I just have one little pet peeve. I have to put in a plug for the gym at Patriot Recreations Department. I call that my project, because there are so many boys that love to play basketball. And before that gym was renovated, it was deplorable. It was so deplorable. It really broke my heart to see those boys going in there playing. And I don't know, John Morant might have been one of them that played in there before. It was Zion, could have been one of them. And those are guys that went to the pros. What I'm saying is that sometimes we have to try to find some common ground when we're trying to move the county forward and give a little and take a little. And I'm hoping that that's what is going to happen this time, that we're going to be able to come up, the commission will listen to and see the needs that were communicated to us from all the meetings that we had out in the county, and they will look at those things and be strategic, considerate, equitable, and very smart about what is chosen to present to us for final approval. And I hope and pray that we have enough money so that we can finally meet the needs of our roads. I know we won't be able to get them all because it's extremely expensive. But, you know, these past few weeks with all the rain, we have people out there suffering. And I don't feel good when my people are suffering on those roads, when they have to put bags on their feet to walk, to get to the bus. I don't feel good about that. And so we really do. And I understand Councilman's passion about it. It's time for us to really pour into those roads. While at the same time though, not compromising what we can get for the full county. And I hope that all of that will come to fruition. And I ask all of y'all to help us pray for it and to talk to us and help us to hear and see what your needs are. And I support the concept of having the public to address the commission so that they can see and hear the passion.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
so there's a couple things that are pending,
Yes.
and
Nothing's pending right now. Let me get, everybody's had their say so. I'm gonna have none. First of all, Mr. Washington, I appreciate you complimenting me for working with you. From day one, I told you that I was gonna make roads a priority. I have had many conversations with our administrator, Mr. Mixon, that we've got to do something with these roads, and when it comes to penny, we've got more money in the penny for rural roads than we've ever had this year, amounting to almost